During Shondell Jackson's sentencing for the murder of college student Nathan Potter, the courtroom was filled with tension as details of the crime were revealed. Jackson and his friend had been looking for victims when they saw Potter leaving a bar. They demanded money from him, but when he didn't have any, Jackson shot and killed him. Jackson fled to Mississippi, but was eventually arrested thanks to a tip from his uncle. During his trial, Jackson made gestures towards the victim's family and smiled at them as he was escorted out of the courtroom. As the judge announced the sentence, Jackson exploded in anger, shouting and causing chaos in the courtroom. Before the sentencing, Jackson's mother told the court that she had first heard about the killing on TV.
When I saw it on the news, I even cried. I'm like, oh my God, I can't imagine what that mother is going through. I never had a clue that my child had anything to do with it. My son is not a monster. He is not a monster.
Shondell Jackson now apologizes for what he has done.
I apologize for my behaviors. Please don't take my life from me.
When the judge pronounced that Shondell Jackson would be sentenced to life imprisonment without parole, he erupted in an outburst. As the judge announced Jaleel Smith Riley's sentencing for his involvement in the robbery that resulted in the death of Portia Brooks and the permanent disability of her boyfriend, he had an explosive outburst in court.
Go back on with me. I just want to come home with this. This is somebody that feels genuine remorse. This is somebody that thinks about this every day, and he knows that he can't go back in time and undo what he did.
The mother of Portia Brooks delivers a victim impact statement.
But he killed me mentally, emotionally. He killed my identity as a mother of 3, as a family of 4.
Portia Brooks' sister is now speaking.
Deal with life without Portia, so he should deal with life without parole.
As Jaleel Smith Riley stood in the courtroom, he knew that his life was about to change forever.
Defendant serve a term of life without parole as to count 4 for the offense of attempted murder.
Fernando Salgado, 18, pled not guilty out of fear of going back to jail, which was not unexpected. But what transpired in the courtroom was undoubtedly stunning. After learning that his bond was set at $300,000 and that he wouldn't have the ability to lower it for 2 weeks, Salgado begged to be allowed to return home. In response, his relatives interrupted the court. Is the young man crying now the same one who did so earlier? The same youngster who, according to the authorities, used a piece of metal rebar to sodomize another teen? His family refuses, making arrangements to cover the high bail price. Several people showed there to defend Salgado and the 2 minor boys accused of taking part in the attacks at B. Miller High School, illustrating how profoundly split the community is. Keandra Cooks, an 18-year-old convict, received a 20-year prison sentence for orchestrating a robbery through a dating app that led to the shooting of another teenager. Cooks and her then-boyfriend, Kendrick Bass, enticed Manny Purcell and a friend to come up to South Daytona via a dating app. But instead of a good time, Purcell was shot and carjacked. Both Kendrick and Keandra were apprehended and tried in court for their crimes. In this scene, we witness Keandra's statement to the judge as she awaits sentencing, amid a volatile courtroom atmosphere.
I just want to say that I'm sorry for being wrong.
As a result of discussions with their defense attorney, Keandra Cooks and her mother believed that she would not receive a jail sentence. So you can imagine their horror when the judge delivered his verdict of 20 years.
Charges sentence you to 20 years in state prison.
As Circuit Judge Matthew Foxman read the sentence, Keandra Cook's mother dropped to the floor and wailed. The house of grief from Cook's mother was so loud that the judge had to later restate the sentencing for the clerk. Keandra saw her mother fall to the floor with emotion. Finally, she realized the gravity of the situation she's in and then broke down herself. Jacob Morgan, a 17-year-old from Rock Hill SC, was in court for a probable cause hearing on charges of arson and murder linked to the tragic death of his 14-month-old brother. As prosecutors claimed that Morgan had intentionally and maliciously set the fatal fire, causing his brother's death, the courtroom was filled with tension. The teenage convict's reaction to the accusation was nothing short of explosive, as he began to freak out and display signs of extreme distress. The tragic nature of the case highlights the urgent need to address issues of mental health and violence prevention among youth, and provide effective support to those in need before it's too late.
The mouse that it would take to set a fire in the bedroom where the child is in the crib sleeping. a burn pattern that goes from underneath that child towards the door of the bedroom. That is caused by likely something. It's a significant burn pattern as he described it. It could have been alcohol, it could have been something else that gets consumed by the fire, but a significant burn pattern shows that there is something said significant and intentional. And at that point, to start a fire in that room is he to walk away, not trying to extinguish that fire, and immediately starting another fire in the living room. And then to claim it's an accident, that it got out of control, that's an extreme recklessness, and that's intent. That's maliciousness. That's a definition of malice. And as you walk away from the fire that you've just lit in another room with a small baby, walk into the front room, light that fire, and then leave the residence standing outside watching it burn,